Monday, June 2nd. Welcome back to Underreported Stories. Here are the top headlines driving the news. New information on the terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado, committed by an illegal immigrant. NBC News profiles a family leaving the U.S. because their 9-year-old identifies as transgender, and Poland elects its new president. On June 1st, a man with a makeshift flamethrower yelled "Free Palestine" as he injured 8 people who were raising awareness for Israeli hostages who remain in Gaza since October 7th, 2023. The suspect is named Mohamed Sabry Soliman, and he's been charged with a hate crime, according to an affidavit filed Monday, June 2nd. Soliman was seen at the Run for Their Lives protest with homemade flamethrowers and Molotov cocktails. Soliman is an Egyptian national who recently overstayed his visa and resides in the U.S. illegally. Soliman originally entered the U.S. through the LAX airport on August 27, 2022. He arrived with a non-immigrant visa and was permitted to stay through February 26, 2023. Instead, he overstayed his original visa and proceeded to apply for a work authorization permit through the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. And he successfully obtained that permit to work in the U.S. from March 29, 2023 to March of 2024. However, he again overstayed his visa. Soliman was originally denied a visa from the U.S. government when he attempted to come here back in 2005. It's unclear if he tried to enter the country again before 2022. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller tweeted, "A terror attack was committed in Boulder, Colorado by an illegal alien. He was granted a tourist visa by the Biden administration, and then he illegally overstayed that visa. In response, the Biden administration gave him a work permit. Suicidal migration must be fully reversed." The victims' injuries range in severity. 2 victims were airlifted to a burn unit. The victims include 4 men and 4 women between the ages of 52 and 88. At least 1 person is in critical condition. Police reportedly found an additional 16 Molotov cocktails in the area where the suspect committed this heinous act. A witness to the attack, which took place in Boulder's well-known Pearl Street, told local CBS News that Boulder has changed and become unsafe.
Still exists here, but it's different. Boulder has changed. Pearl Street has changed. And, there's things, I see stuff all the time, and I'm like, really? Yeah. Now there's like security guards in front of the bathrooms, so people don't smoke meth in the bathrooms. Yeah. That's the truth. It's out there. It's dirtier than it used to be. It's not as safe as it used to be, but you don't expect to see it at that level.
The FBI is investigating this as a terrorist act. The attack occurred the same week a man who also yelled "Free Palestine" was charged with fatally shooting 2 Israeli embassy staffers in Washington, D.C. This is what globalized the Intifada means. This is why the Trump administration takes so seriously the threat of anti-Semitism. NBC News profiled 5 families who are leaving the U.S. as the Trump administration aims to stop the chemical castration of minors in the name of gender identity. NBC News profiled parents Brandon and Candace who plan to spend tens of thousands of dollars to move their family from Colorado to New Zealand. The parents told NBC they're moving to, quote, protect their 9-year-old Chase from the effects of the Trump administration. The parents alleged that the child's Colorado-based medical team would no longer continue transition-related medical care until the child was over 18. This comes in response to a January 28th executive order that President Trump signed called Protecting Children from Chemical and Surgical Mutilation. The order bars the federal government from providing grants to medical institutions, including hospitals, that provide chemical and surgical mutilation of children. Chase's mother, Candace, claimed that Americans are, quote, indoctrinated to believe this country is free after her, quote, child's rights were stripped away. A close friend of mine sent me this story and noted the media's insane bias in posting this story. She said, imagine calling yourself an impartial media company while doing a feature about how parents can't abuse their children in the U.S. and making it out to be a bad thing. Poland narrowly elected a conservative president. Karol Nawrocki, who received vocal support from President Trump, won the election with 50.89% of the vote, narrowly beating his liberal competitor. Nawrocki is set to take office on August 6th and succeed conservative President Duda. The election results received praise from several Trump cabinet officials and world leaders, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Chrissy praised Poland's conservative leaders while decrying Europe's, quote, weak leadership. Noam said mass migration has, quote, destroyed their civilization, while she praised Poland's strict border enforcement. The U.S. has approximately 10,000 troops stationed in Poland, and Noam suggested that military ties could deepen between the two countries with Naraki's election. Naraki promised to continue Poland's support for Ukraine while remaining hypercritical of Zelensky. Naraki believes the Ukrainian president has taken advantage of allies and accused Ukrainian refugees of taking advantage of Poland's generosity. I love uncovering the truth in politics, in media, and even the truth about what's in our so-called cleaning products. Most store-bought cleaning products are loaded with toxic chemicals, hormone disruptors, and allergens. Yuck! This is the kind of stuff that can impact your health, your kids' health, even your pet's health. That's why I made the switch to Branch Basics. Their products are completely non-toxic and human safe. No synthetic fragrances, no weird chemicals. They use plant and mineral-based formulas that leave your home truly clean without compromising your health. If you are ready to toss the toxins, head over to branchbasics.com/Chrissy, or you can just use the link in the description. Again, use code Chrissy, that's CHRISSY, to get 15% off your first order. Use code Chrissy at checkout. A Democrat aide was detained by the Department of Homeland Security. A biological male won multiple titles at a girls' track and field competition in California, and Senator Cory Booker is being treated with a double standard for an alleged Nazi salute. Plus, a Michigan man was arrested for an insidious plot to kill Jewish preschoolers, and Tinder is offering a new height filter for users. These are 5 underreported stories that you need to know. An aide for longtime Democrat Representative Jerry Nadler was temporarily detained by federal agents for allegedly harboring rioters. On Wednesday, May 28th, federal agents with the Department of Homeland Security entered Nadler's Manhattan office and accused staff of harboring rioters. The office reportedly invited 2 anti-ICE advocates into their office, prompting this investigation. In video footage published on June 1st, agents can be seen restraining a crying female staffer while another employee asked for a warrant and blocked the door from officers. Nadler's building is located in the same building as a federal immigration court. DHS agents alleged that rioters at that immigration court were hiding in Nadler's office. DHS officials also claim the only reason that Nadler aide was temporarily detained was because she got verbally confrontational and physically blocked the entrance to the office. Homeland Security said that officers were, quote, concerned about the safety of the federal employees in the office and went to ensure the safety and well-being of those present. Representative Jerry Nadler, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and New York Governor Kathy Hochul claimed that Trump is attempting to intimidate and threaten members of Congress who disagree with him by utilizing federal resources. A transgender athlete in California won first place in the girls' high and triple jump events over the weekend. Abby Hernandez, a biological male who identifies as a transgender girl, placed first in the girls' high jump. However, 2 biological females shared the first place podium with Abby Hernandez thanks to a new California policy. Last Tuesday, the California Interscholastic Federation, which oversees high school sports, changed its rules to mandate that any biological female who lost to a trans athlete would not lose their standing, meaning that no biological female winner could be displaced because of Hernandez's performance. For example, in the triple jump, Hernandez jumped 42 feet and 2 inches. A biological female proceeded to jump 40 feet and 5 inches, and yet the duo shared the first place podium. In the girls' high jump, Abby Hernandez passed the high jump mark, and then 2 biological girls also cleared the same high jump mark, and all 3 competitors shared the first place podium. President Donald Trump posted to Truth Social, calling the move, quote, totally demeaning to women and girls. The president claimed that allowing Abby Hernandez to compete was a violation of his executive order barring schools with federal funding from allowing biological males to compete in women's sports. Trump said he is, quote, ordering local authorities, if necessary, to not allow the transitioned person to compete in the state's finals. The mother of Abby Hernandez told local NBC News that she encouraged her child to transition out of fear her child would become suicidal.
I'm not losing my child because of my stubbornness and for me being closed-minded. Like, I'd rather embrace our times together, even if it's been this difficult, than going to a cemetery and crying because I couldn't accept something.
This is a common tactic used by LGBT activist organizations on parents. Using since debunked studies, activists will misinform parents that disapproval of a gender transition is a death sentence. Studies across the world have disproved this theory, uncovering that children who receive gender affirmation are no more or less happy than their peers who do not receive gender affirmation. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker is under fire after making a gesture similar to a gesture made by Elon Musk that Democrats called a Nazi salute. Booker can be seen placing his hand on his heart and extending his arm straight out. In January, Elon Musk made a remarkably similar gesture at an inauguration celebration for Donald Trump, where he placed his hand over his heart and extended his arm out to the crowd. Internet commentators noted that Booker's salute received minimal, if any, attention from mainstream news outlets like the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, NPR, and ABC News. I could go on. However, all those same outlets had segments and panels and articles ad nauseum about whether Elon Musk was secretly a Nazi sympathizer for making the same gesture. Here's Democrat Representative Robert Garcia telling CNN's Jim Acosta that Elon Musk's hand gesture was undeniably a Nazi salute in January.
That was a Nazi salute, and he didn't just do it one time. He did it twice for emphasis. And if you talk to anyone, that's historians, folks who actually study the Nazis and study this actual kind of disgusting display, have been very clear that what that was. And he should not just apologize, he should be condemned for those kinds of actions. So gross.
CNN, 24 hours after Booker made that identical gesture, had not run a story. A Michigan man pleaded guilty to the charge of felony possession of a firearm and intending to use that firearm to commit atrocities against Jewish preschoolers. In December of 2022, Hassan Chaker, a Muslim man from Dearborn, Michigan, drove to the parking lot of a Jewish synagogue in the Jewish-heavy suburb of Bloomfield Hills. The man yelled threats at Jewish families, including, quote, "You are all going to die. You're going to pay. F you, Israel." After he was asked to leave, he went to a nearby gun store where he attempted to purchase 3 guns, including a shotgun, a rifle, and a semi-automatic pistol. Prosecutors claim Chaker had a prior felony conviction in 2017 and lied about his criminal record in order to obtain the guns. While waiting for his background check, prosecutors claim Chaker said he would use the firearms to, quote, even the score and for, quote, God's wrath. He was ultimately denied the purchase following the results of the background check. It's been insinuated by prosecutors that Chaker intended to use the firearms to commit mass casualties at a synagogue that also serves as a preschool. Chaker faces up to 15 years in prison. In December of 2023, he was found unfit to stand trial after a schizophrenia and bipolar disorder diagnosis. Prosecutors asked that he be involuntarily medicated so he could stand trial. And finally, in some lighter news, dating app Tinder is implementing a height feature for users that allows users to filter out partners based on their preferred height. The feature is only available to those using Tinder Platinum, a subscription model for the dating app. Online discourse surrounding this news claims that women will generally use this filter to filter out men below their preferred height. However, 75% of Tinder users are male, making me wonder whether Tinder did this to boost enrollment for potential female users? I don't know, but let me know your thoughts on this very contentious online debate in the comments. And while you're down there, if you're a real one and you made it to the end of today's show, will you drop the runner emoji as an homage to our story about the California girls' track and field debacle? Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you heard, please be sure to subscribe and leave a comment about how beautiful, intelligent, and funny I am. And if you want more content, click right over here for more videos and clips of my show. I'll see you back here next time. Bye!